How's it going, friends and family of the internet? Welcome to the Real AF TV podcast show about fishing and random takes from the land of 10,000 lakes. I'm one of your hosts, Josh LaBaw.
And I am Tim Wagner.
And I am ready to talk about some fishing news and shit, but we were just talking about that roast, that new one.
Roast.
That Tom Brady roast.
Yes.
And I forgot to ask you, where'd they film that? Do you know?
I don't know. I bet it was like LA.
Okay.
I would guess. It was big, dude. It was an arena.
Holy fuck. Okay.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was like a full arena. I don't know. Yeah, maybe they did it in like New England or something, but I don't know for sure, dude. It was a full
huge
arena.
Okay.
I'm sure they said it, but I wasn't really paying attention to that part.
Yeah.
But it was big as shit. Yeah, dude. I've never seen a roast that big before.
Jesus. That's fucking wild.
Yeah, they were selling a lot of tickets to it and stuff. And
I never thought about that aspect of it. That it's not just the like Netflix special or, you know, whoever's buying it. It
was Netflix, but normally it's not that big. Normally it used to always just be like, we're going to invite the dais and like some people will be able to get inside, you know, but it's going to be a smaller, it always felt like it was a decent size, like a ballroom before, you know,
like you'd be happy to go to sell out a theater if you were just a comedian on tour. Like if you were just a pretty good comedian, you sell out a theater. You'd be like, yeah, a couple thousand people in there, about 1,000 people in there. You'd be like pumped.
Yeah.
And that's what they seem like they always were.
Yeah. But not this one, dude. That's
really?
The new thing.
Okay.
That's the new thing is like selling out freaking arenas, dude. Kill Tony, I think is, they've been doing live stuff now ever since they sold out, a stadium a stadium, not an arena. I forget what's the difference.
I have no idea what the difference is.
I forget what's bigger, but one of them's bigger than the other. Because I think like an arena might be like how the XL Energy Center is like an arena.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The only thing I would say is hockey versus
the US Bank Stadium is like that much bigger than XL. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like the stadium is a football stadium and it's huge.
Right.
So maybe this was an arena that they sold out and not a stadium. But
either way, okay.
It was big as shit. I forgot the point that I was trying to make when I started talking about this.
Well, you said that Kill Tony.
Oh, the Kill Tony. Yeah. Kill Tony is doing the Madison Square Garden.
Holy shit.
Like, dude. That's how big Kill Tony is now.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, the New Year's special, they did an arena. They sold it out. They were just like, hopefully people show up, and they ended up actually adding a second show and selling it out twice.
Holy shit.
And now they're just doing like Kill Tony live. And I think it's just a random day. I think they already did it, but Madison Square Garden now, which is like, what the shit?
Damn, dude. Yeah. That's the big deal when you sell out the garden.
Yeah. Well,
whoa.
Yeah. That's
holy
just
shit.
on another level. Yeah.
Wow. Good for him.
Yeah, for sure. They definitely figured something out with that one.
Yeah.
Because it's a live show where you never know what's going to happen. And they have, special guests, and it gets a little bit crazy. The one over New Year's Eve, they had Adam Ray now dresses up as Dr. Phil. And those are such good ones because he plays such a good Dr. Phil and goes out there. And yeah. And then they had him live on stage as Dr. Phil, and they gave him the Guest of the Year award, and the award was given to him via video by the real Dr. Phil. so
yeah, dude.
It's a little bit more than just their normal podcast show,
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what this next one's like, but it's a good time. I would definitely like to go to one of those shows, so I understand the draw and why they can sell out stadiums.
That's
or
crazy.
arenas,
Or arenas.
whichever,
Whatever it
what
is.
it is.
All right. Okay. Let's do it. Let's get into the fishing news. All right. This is a perfect example of why we always drive home. Check your regs. Check the regs.
Check them.
Boy, let me tell you what.
What?
I've wanted to get a turtle for a long time. Just a pet turtle in a aquarium in the corner. No, I'm fucking kidding you. I meant a turtle, like an edible turtle. I wanted to catch my own edible turtle for a while.
Yeah.
And something made me look it up and just go, and I just said, turtle. I can't remember what it was because there's a story to this. But here's what it is. Something made me look it up, and the DNR, the Minnesota DNR, changed the turtle regulations.
Oh.
Because I bet you go back to episode 7, all the way back to episode 7. I bet you go listen to it and tell us how outdated it is, their listeners and viewers. Because I'm pretty sure on that I said, hey, if you have a turtle or if you have an angling license, you turtle license, you're good to go. That's not true anymore. As of January 1st of 24, they changed the rules. Turtles have their own license now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Weird, dude.
Yeah. So the way I understand it, I'll have the link in the description of the YouTube video to go read the article that's on the DNR's website. But there was something that came up. Just me thinking about it. Oh, I know. It was this because we've been looking at there's a pond nearby that we always keep our eye on. And my wife was like, I think there was a big snapper in there. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, big. It's pretty big. Because I'm pretty sure I saw the shell. And I'm like, okay. But I never seen it. And then, so I went and looked it up. And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
If I was actually going to try to get this turtle, if I was going to try to catch this turtle, my angling license would not hold up. Fuck me. This is why we always say check your license or check your regs, right?
Dude. I didn't even know you needed a license.
Yeah, dude. I could have been poaching on accident just because years prior I knew that as long as I had an angling license that I was covered. So I got if I had my fishing license, I thought I was covered. And then well, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that was news to me. I thought you were done. Sorry, I was.
No, that's it. I mean that's the news. It's just like it drives home the point that we're always saying check your regs, and I was like, shit,
yeah, for sure.
Go check your regs, and yeah. So if you're hunting turtles, it's a license this year in Minnesota. Make sure you got your ass covered.
Yeah, for sure. Did you look at how much it is?
$25.
Damn, dude.
Yeah. It's
$25.
It's like the same as getting a fishing license. Yeah.
They're probably like, well, we only have like 2 people that are willing to pay this. And the DNR's is like, $50 is $50, man.
So yeah, it was quite a surprise. They made some changes. The article goes on and does, but don't worry, all you turtle racers out there, you're safe. You can still go get your turtles for racing.
Oh yeah, you can. I knew that because you're not. The intention is not to murder,
right?
You're basically paying to harvest it,
right?
Where a turtle race is different. You just go get you a turtle, race your turtle. Right. I mean, if you're at home, putting a couple of PEDs in his leaf bowl or whatever you feed a turtle. I don't know. just
I don't know
giving them the performance enhancing drugs. Have you seen the turtles with the skateboards?
What?
I love it.
No.
I see videos where they just get a little painted turtle and they give them like the fingerboard. and they put it underneath them, and they just get it. They just go.
No way.
Yeah, dude, I seen a video of one with a cat where the cat's like walking around with the turtle, and the turtle actually like the cat gets off in front of the turtle, and the turtle literally like catches up to it, and when the cat stops, it like quick does like a 90-degree turn and stops.
What?
It's 100% just like, what are you doing, cat? And then stops. It's like their brain goes faster than they're able to move for sure.
Right.
And now you're just given the ability to like haul ass, and they take it. They're just like, yes, I love it. I've never wanted a turtle until I saw that video. And now I'm like, I want turtle and hardwood floors, and I want him to have a skateboard.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my God.
But yeah, no, I had no idea. And that's crazy that it costs $25 because that's like a roll of the dice. I'm not going out there to hunt turtles on purpose. But if I accidentally catch a snapper like I did that one year,
yeah, I
never actually got him in the boat because I didn't know how the hell to land him. He was a big ass snapping turtle when I snagged that one in the claw.
Yeah.
But I was like, if I knew what I was doing back then, I would have got him and I would have done something with him.
Right.
Now I got to spend $25 on the off chance that happens again.
Right. Unless you're like, unless you're someone like me that just has a dependable pond to go to. I don't know how much they move. I don't know how much they hang around, but like just the story is oh yeah, that turtle came out of the water. We seen it. So like my wife saw it swimming around. She thought maybe. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna look up turtles and like how big they have to be and all this shit. Yeah. And then it was like, it's $25. And then 2 days after I seen the $25, we saw that some bitch outside of the water. And I'm like, oh, it's big enough.
They burrow into the mud. So I don't know where they go like during the summer and stuff.
Right.
But I bet it was like living there throughout the spring and just like woke up and then did its thing and was like, this is as good a spot as any to lay some eggs or whatever. I don't know how you tell the difference between a male and a female.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's ready to lay eggs or if it's like I got to go try to find a mate or what it has to do. So I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know any of that shit either. Not even a little bit. Yeah. But I was wondering all that same shit. I'm like, well, how long is it going to be here? And like, does it hang around or does it live in this pond or is it just going to go like fucking hide in the woods for the summer? Like, what do they do?
Yeah. I don't know what happened, but like Glencoe, where we grew up, they got Oakleaf Park. And out there's like a little pond that's like off of the river or the creek. There's a creek right there. And then real close to it is like a little pond that they have.
No.
And one year there was just like 6 dead snappers in the springtime. I don't know if somebody came and like pulled them up when they were already hibernating or whatever and just and like let them freeze or if they just didn't get far enough into the mud or what happened. But yeah, there was like dead snappers all over the place that year. It was weird.
That's fucking wild.
Yep.
Damn. Dude.
So yeah. I don't know. That was a little slightly off topic, but they definitely spend their time near small ponds.
Right.
If like that's their option.
Yeah.
But where they go from there, I don't know.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
This is just making me think right now. Oh yeah, just so you know, I was totally fucking intimidated by this. I'm not gonna lie. I saw this thing and I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. Oh, I wish I could shoot it. But it's in one of these little city ponds, or like not city ponds because I live in the western suburbs, so it's not like I fucking live in it's not like a fucking Minneapolis pond, but it's inside city limits. It's near walking paths. I can't just fucking shoot this thing.
Right.
But fucking shit, dude.
I know.
They're way more intimidating than I thought.
Oh man, it's weird how scary they can be because the one that I've had around like my parents' cabin is like 35, 40 pounds. It's big as hell.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's big as hell. And we've seen it on the road before. like
Yeah,
which is
yeah, yeah.
like there's the lake and then there's the yards and then there's the road and
Right.
there's a giant hill behind that. So it's like gone as far as it can go when it gets to the roads. Everybody that comes past it is like looking at it and just giving it like a wide, super wide berth. Everybody's like, "Oh shit, that's a snapper," and like it's still a turtle, you know.
Yeah.
It's not a bear. It's
Right.
not just gonna haul off and do 30 miles an hour and fuck you up. You're you're fine. I don't scare away from them as much either. Like I don't shy away from them, but like I said with that one where I accidentally snagged in the claw.
Yeah.
Once I got it to the boat, I'm just staring at it like I don't know what the hell to do with this thing. I just
Right.
stared at it for a while.
Right. Just kind of looked at it like
Yeah, I was like, if I put it in the net, it's gonna shred the net.
right.
And it, like in the water, I think he'd be able to turn faster than if he was on the land. So I don't want to try to reach down and grab him.
Right.
Plus, he's got a hook in one of his claws. That's another
He's already
danger.
pissed off.
Yeah. Well, and he's got the hook like it's a treble. So he's got a hook that can hook
so
me
he's got
essentially.
You fucking
So
gave it a weapon, dude.
Yeah. So he's got a weapon on top of it. So I'm just like, I don't know what to do with this guy. But then you have, you ever seen the stale cracker?
What?
He's like a white dude from the bayou that has a blonde mullet, and he's actually got the. If you go to like Walmart, he's got his seasoning, the Cajun two step.
Okay.
You can buy it. It's like in all the WalMarts now. But that guy's got his own like YouTube and like Instagram channel and stuff, and he cooks a lot of like bayou stuff.
Okay.
And he'll just like go into like a pond and just grab it by the shell and lift it up. And be like, "Hey, yeah,
Oh
today
my
we making
God, dude.
yeah." He'll just be like, "We're gonna
he
make that
noodles it.
alligator soup." Just like, all
Oh
right,
my
dude, you're
God.
crazy. Yeah, he
That's
makes
nuts.
gator and all sorts of shit. Yeah, I know. The other day I saw him like grabbing. It was like oysters out the water, but he's like waist deep in a pond in Louisiana, and I'm like,
Right.
no, dude, what are you doing?
Fuck that, dude.
I know you're just grabbing oysters, but there's those big ass snapping turtles in there and gators and all sorts of shit.
Right.
You crazy. I don't want any part of that.
No, not at all. Holy shit, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna have to look that guy up. Stale
Yep.
Cracker.
Shout out Stale Cracker if you're looking for. I think he might spell it a little bit weird too.
Oh, okay.
It might be like cracker with a K or something. I don't remember.
I'll figure it out because YouTube will figure it out.
Yeah, if you put
if he's got shit in
it should pop
Walmart,
up.
dude, he'll be big enough to just be
the
one of the
Cajun two step.
Yeah, see, I can just look that up too. I mean, you look that up on YouTube and it'll take you to his channel in some way. It'll work out.
Yeah. This is like a cooking show too. So if you guys want to learn how to cook stuff, I learned some shit from him.
Yeah, I'm gonna learn how to cook a fucking turtle and then nut up and hopefully get one.
Yep. So y'all want y'all shrimp to peel when you're doing that seafood, boy. This is how you gotta make. He's just like, yeah, dude.
Yeah, he's got that.
You got that accent. I trust you.
That's awesome, dude.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Let's get into some housekeeping. Let's see. We're on Amazon and Apple and all that stuff that I always say. Remember that it's youtube.com/@realaftv. Hold on.
Oh, I thought it was coming out the other
end. Nope.
When I heard it, hold on.
No, I just couldn't talk because it was literally such a big burp that it just clogged up all my space. Yeah, there's comments on Spotify and comments on YouTube and all that stuff. I don't know if the YouTube app the YouTube Music app is, if you can comment on there. It seems like it's just a YouTube feed. I don't know. Check it out. Let us know. Or you can go over to realaf.tv/contact and that'll just shoot a message straight to us. New thing. No Patreon. Pause the Patreon. What the fuck? Did you hear that or was that just me?
I heard it. It sounded like you tapped your mic.
Nah, some shit came loose on my desk.
Oh.
Okay. As long as you heard that then, but I see it now.
Yeah.
Just some cheap fucking
I didn't think much of it because it
Oops.
sounded like you just hit the arm. Boom.
That's what it did sound like that now that you say it.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to what I was saying. Patreon. No Patreon. I put a pause on the Patreon. Stay tuned. Episode 95 looks to match up with our 3rd anniversary. We'll have some more shit there. If I time that right. Episode 95. We'll tell you some more. So we're putting a pause on the Patreon. If you're sharing it with a friend, remember every other week podcast. That means every other Monday we drop a full podcast, and on the Wednesday we go onto YouTube, and on the Fridays we go to the YouTubes. That's our off week with the split. But you don't get all this cool shit, and you don't get to hear about, hey, heads up, keep listening. Episode 95. We'll tell you some shit that will that'll put a little answer to why the Patreon's on pause.
Hell yeah.
All right, Tim. I think that's going to be it for housekeeping, unless you got something.
No, bro.
All right, let's do it. Let's jump into the fishing topic. Live bait. Live bait. Live from the garden. That's a RTJ reference.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Live bait. Keeping live bait. Let's see how long we can talk about this.
Okay.
So the first thing that I want to say is, like, I want this to be like a live bait keeping conversation and learning point, as Real AFTV does, right? Trying to teach the peoples out there. If you don't know, then that's what we're trying to do. So when you look us up, how do I take care of live bait fishing? Boom. Hopefully Real AFTV comes up to the top. You've had pet fish, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Have
you had fresh and saltwater?
Yes, sir.
I remember the saltwater tank. Okay.
Yes.
So,
which went well until we left and got an electric feeder and everything. And we go, this should be fine. And then the cat unplugged the shit.
Oh, that's what happened.
Yeah. So we come back and because we have an automatic feeder for the cat and stuff too. We were only gone for like a weekend or whatever. But had an automatic litter box, automatic feeder, like handling business.
Yeah.
Fish should be fine.
Right.
And then we come back and like nothing was getting fed. No water was moving. It also has a heater because tropical fish have to have warm water.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like all the problems that come back, just like dead fish. You walk in the house, you're like, "Ooh, something smells off."
Fuck.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Yep.
That's lame.
Yep.
I forgot how that happened.
Yeah.
But I remember the tank.
It's like, yeah, it's a decent amount of work because when you change the water, you got to do salt water and the pH balance and all that other stuff. It's like, you know, you got to put in your work to make sure that shit's good.
Yeah. And that's actually the pH and all that stuff is why I brought it up, because there's like, we'll go through, you know, buckets and types of worms and shit like that. But the reason why I brought it up is because there's like some basic through lines. Like if you're keeping live fish, it's like, don't use tap water. Just avoid tap water if you can, because there's things in tap water that humans can tolerate and fish can't. And there's shit in the lakes that fish can tolerate and the humans can't. Just think about it like that. So don't use tap water. We just clean it up too much. But so like, what do you have to do to clean up the tap water, so to say, for a fish? Like I've known that there's drops and stuff like that, but just, I'm not going to do that for keeping live bait. I mean, there's reasons to, but like,
yeah, when you're talking about live bait, I don't know if it is just, I don't know what you use.
I mean, I would just had distilled water down. Just get filtered or distilled water, because you're probably trying to keep them alive for like a weekend or a week or something like that. Like you buy them on a, you know, you buy them on a Sunday and you're going to go out fishing again on Friday. And you're just like, wow, fucking got to bunch of shiners. I don't want to fucking lose them.
Right. Yeah. And if you have distilled water, like if they can handle in distilled water, you could even like run it in a fish tank system where the water's still moving and everything. Like I know I got sleep apnea and
Mm-hmm.
I'm supposed to use distilled water in that machine because you get rid of the minerals and it doesn't fuck with the machine. So
Oh,
distilled water, you can like run it in anything. So you could
right,
do whatever you want. Obviously, getting like a fish tank set up to just keep bait for like a week would be kind of crazy. But they have the tanks in the gas stations and stuff. Well, they'll bring the minnows in there and they're just,
right,
that's basically all that is a giant fish tank without a lid.
right.
Even that
Yeah.
has lids on it sometimes where there's just a piece of plastic or whatever.
No.
So if you wanted to do that, or if you knew how to catch your own bait, you could definitely do that and just have them in your house and feed them or whatever. It
Right.
wouldn't be
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
hard.
We'll get
But I don't
into
know
a
what the
little bit of
laws
that.
on that are either. So maybe
Yeah.
don't catch your own bait
Uh,
without
well,
looking into it.
I'll get into a little bit of that, I think. Nah, fuck it. So you can catch your own bait, but there's regs around it. There's,
Yeah.
again, check your regs. There's a lot of regs around it.
Yeah.
Um, because, some places you can only trap them.
Oh,
And
sure.
then other places, you can only net them.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
so, like,
We trap them around here. I don't think the net is legal
right, I don't think
here.
so either.
Yeah.
Not that I'm necessarily aware of, but yeah. So there's just like there's that aspect to it, and then in that case, I would say, yeah, you probably do want to get a fish tank set up and stuff so you can keep them. I mean, if you're going to put in all that work, unless you just
Yeah.
feel like you have one trap that's just going to constantly be feeding all year,
Right.
or like feeding you
Or
your bait all year.
yeah, like or it depends on like where you're at. Like
Mhm.
we have a minnow trap that will throw out and just check it every once in a while. And if there's minnows in there, we just crack it open and take the minnows and then put it in the minnow bucket.
Mm. Mhm.
Which, if people aren't familiar, a minnow bucket is just a bucket that has holes in it with a door. So it like lets the water in, but it floats on the surface. And then your minnows are in there, but they're in the water. So it's lake water. So you don't have to worry about digging around with any other kind of waters and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
exact. Yeah, we can go in. Let's go in on the bucket for a little bit
Okay.
and talk about it. First of all, this is another through line that ties into the bucket, and it's just I say through line because if you're talking, any kind of fish,
Mm-hmm.
don't use tap water. So that's a through line. This
Yeah.
one, keep it out of direct sunlight. That doesn't matter whether you got worms or leeches or fish. It
Oh
doesn't matter.
yeah.
Just fucking keep it out of the sun, dude.
Yeah, dude. I mean, think of it like just like anything when it's hot out,
Right.
like a car or whatever.
Yeah.
If you got the water might be a certain temperature, but if you got this piece of plastic that's able to heat up in the sun, the
Right.
water's going to get hotter in there. So yeah,
Right.
try to keep it out of the direct sunlight, keep it in the shade and stuff.
Yeah.
And another thing people do, there's certain buckets that are made to be like hooked up to a weight, but there's some other ones where you can just kind of like rig it up to work. But the water,
Uh-huh.
the on the surface
Uh-huh.
is warmer than the water that's lower.
Right.
So a lot of times, like if a person's going to be leaving for a week and they want to come back and you want to make sure that your minnows have a better chance at surviving,
Uh-huh.
it's not guaranteed, obviously. They'll sink it down. Like I see it sometimes when I'm like fishing docks and stuff.
So you're talking
That
about
there's
this.
like,
You're talking about the minnow bucket,
yeah,
right?
they'll take the minnow bucket, like lock it, and they'll like have some way of like weighting it down, and they'll drop it right down to the bottom. So they'll have it like towards the end of the dock, underneath their dock,
And then
but
they just
it'll
have
be
a
on the
rope that
bottom.
ties up
Yeah.
on the dock,
So
but there's a weight. Okay. Okay.
yep. So they'll have it like you know, however the weight is set up, they'll have it like 6 inches to like a foot off the bottom and 4 feet of water
Right.
down, kind of like in the weeds. Where in the weeds, we've talked about it before too. The weeds can cool down the water as well.
Right. Right.
So it's colder water. It's more oxygenated if you got the plant life right there than it is on the surface.
Right.
Well, I mean, that might be false. If there's like a good breeze and stuff, there probably a decent amount of oxygen getting
Right.
stirred
But
into the
you're still
surface,
making
but whatever.
you make a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. So people do that.
And this is so let's so yeah, well, that relates directly to the like keeping them out of the sun thing too.
Right.
So the kind of minnow bucket that I'm used to seeing, and in fact, you had it in the crappie spawn video. I'm pretty sure it was in that edit.
Mm.
Um, it's the yellow Frable.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like a plastic.
Yep.
It's like a plastic one that floats, and you just throw it off the side of your boat, or I guess you could throw it off the dock too, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But that's the one I'm used to seeing. Are there other kinds of like it's just because it's just got that door right on the front? Are there other kinds of minnow buckets, or is this the one you're saying people are sinking?
That's the one that people are saying. Well, there's, I mean, they're very similar, but there are other brands that make stuff like that. I know there's like an orange and a white one, and
okay,
they're not all made by Frable. I think Frable has a couple different ones because there's also different types of buckets for different kinds of bait.
What?
They make like a weird little round cylinder one for like leeches and shit. I've never put leeches in a bucket, but yeah, some people do that, and it'll be smaller, and I guess they like can like float it in their live well or whatever.
Oh,
I just always keep it in the little tub that it's in and put it in the shade. That's how I've done it the whole time. Like if you have you keep the leeches in the fridge until it's time to go, and then you keep that in the shade.
Yeah.
I have on the really, really hot days too, if I've had leeches. I do have like older, shittier coolers that I've used too.
That's what yes.
Yeah, where I've just like thrown it in the cooler with like a little ice pack, or, you know, if I have ice, throw it in with ice or whatever it is, and then put that in the shade. But I've never personally had like the leech bucket.
Yeah,
but they make it.
Yeah,
it's not.
No, I didn't even see
bucket,
that when I was looking around. That there was a leech bucket. I mean, I got leeches on here on the list, but you pretty much covered it all. And buckets and coolers that I had down as a like combo thing, because there's the bucket, you just hang it off the side and let the fish live in the lake water.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And then I saw coolers. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
The coolers are nuts. I saw one for $130.
I know, dude. But those ones are essentially a fish tank.
Yes.
You know?
Okay.
Like they have an aerator system that's
a battery powered
operated.
Fish tank,
Yeah. So you have like a battery powered pump, which is basically what I have for ice fishing.
Oh, really?
You know?
I guess I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, like I have a smaller bucket that's insulated, but that one's insulated to stop it from freezing.
Right.
You know? I don't put any ice in there to try to cool it down. It's not set up like that. It's insulated, and then you just put water in the middle. Where some of these other ones, I think, are made to keep the water cooler.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. That's the way it seemed in the marketing materials that I was seeing when I was researching things, is that they were pretty much gearing it towards the summer angler.
For sure.
Yeah.
So you can do that. And, but yeah, they have, you know, a couple different kinds, couple different sizes.
Yeah.
But they're heavy duty coolers. They look nice as shit.
Yeah.
But then you see those price tags and you're like, and that's just for my bait.
Right. Unless you want your beer cans floating around in semi-cool water.
Yeah.
Getting fish shit all over them.
Right. And I mean, I guess there's a couple of, you know, a time and a place where it makes sense. You know, if you're fishing a bigger body of water and you're going to be out there for a long time, or it's a hassle to go back and forth to the bait shop, you know, just buy it all at one time.
Yeah. If you're like really out there, I get you. I see where you're going.
Yeah. For me, the station we get our bait from isn't far from the lake.
Right.
Literally buy a scoop, be like, see how it goes.
Yeah.
And just like, oh, they're biting. We ran out of scoops, or like the scoop, we're down these minnows.
Yeah, that is
We'll finish catching them and then just go get more.
Yeah.
You know,
That is the nice thing about living in the land of 10,000 lakes. I mean, every
right?
gas station that's anywhere near water, which is every fucking gas station, has live bait in it.
Yep.
It seems like.
Yeah, dude. And it's that's the thing too. Like, there's a town not too far away, and sometimes it's been like, oh, they're low on bait.
Oh,
Let's
right.
drive. Let's drive another 5 minutes. See if
To the
that guy has some.
to the other gas station or the other
Yeah.
store just down the road. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, for
Yep.
real. Did we bring live bait up to Lake of the Woods? I don't really think we did. What were we fishing?
I think we had like worms and stuff.
Okay.
But I
I
don't
just
know if we
can't
brought
remember
stuff. I
because
know that they had stuff.
I
I
don't
think, but I think
remember reaching in a bucket or anything like that. Like,
no, I don't think we had any minnows. We should have had minnows. I don't know why the fuck we didn't have minnows.
yeah, we should have.
I kicked myself for that trip as far as like fishing goes. I don't know why
We were there to
we
hang out.
didn't fish as much. We caught some fish, but I feel like we could have been at the speed we were going. We could have just been dragging a deep diving crankbait wherever we were at and just seeing what happens
Oh,
and
and just
stuff.
seeing what, yeah.
Yeah, where it's like, yeah, maybe there's not a fish here, but
Right.
maybe there is.
But maybe, yeah.
You know, that kind
We
of
were
stuff.
also, I know we were so close to that. Well, we'll get this sidebar out of the way. We were so close to Canada too there that I know for a few times we were like, okay, I don't know. Like,
yeah.
it was a little bit sketchy. Not totally, but like, because you had the GPS and shit. But it was just one of those situations where I know we were kind of like, don't go too far. Don't go
Right.
too far.
Yeah.
Because those waters are patrolled like crazy.
Yes.
Okay. So, anyways, buckets, coolers, bags. I just wanted to say that I threw that one in there because the bag it comes in. I mean, you're gonna go to fucking bait store and get the bag.
Yeah.
Do you ever keep the bag around? Because I know when you get a goldfish, you take it home and you get it in its tank as fast as possible. Do they? How long do you keep them in the? Or how long would they keep in the bag?
It depends on if they give you some air or not.
Oh yeah, you've talked about that where they give you the psh, psh inside the bag, give a little
they
puff
hit it
puff
with
and
fill it up with the air. Because I know that there's been times where the station I went to, like the week before or whatever, didn't have a lot of minnows.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, I want minnows, and I don't know if they're gonna have them, but I know that the shields in the mall. I don't know if anybody knows that too.
Mm.
You guys, shields in the mall, don't act like they're not gonna have bait. I got live minnows on the second floor in the mall in my town. They got live bait. You
right.
go get it.
Yep.
So I went there and I've bought minnows from Shields, and that's like an hour-long drive, and they live fine because they give you the air. I go, give me that.
And that's not in the cooler. Like you didn't throw them in the cooler for the drive.
Nah, I put it by my feet and I put the AC on high and make sure that I keep it cold down there. But I don't put it in the cooler.
Sure.
I probably should put it in a cooler, but I don't.
Right. I mean, it doesn't matter if they survive because once you get up to your location, you're going to throw them in the fucking bucket and throw them in the lake anyway, right?
Yeah. It's cold. Yeah, it's cold ass water that they're putting them in. I almost kind of like let it gradually, like, I don't want to keep them too cold because for the most part, I'm putting them in a bucket and I'm dropping that bucket in, in the middle of the summer. I'm dropping that shit in 75-degree water.
Right.
And to keep them live longer, Shields probably has that water down to like 60 degrees or whatever.
Sure.
So I'm, gradually letting it warm up. I don't think it's a bad thing. And oh shit, kick the table.
Now you're over there banging around making noise.
Boosh. But yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing, and I don't know how long they could last.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have, I would assume if I went and got a dozen sucker minnows, those ones would run out of oxygen faster than
just being a bigger minnow.
Yeah, just being a bigger minnow, I would assume that they would run out of oxygen faster, but
Right.
who knows? But
Well, I got some stuff on
I
suckers.
can testify that they will last an hour if you get the oxygen.
Right.
I've never tried. I've went out of my way to request it if they don't give it when it's going. Hey, you got that? Give me with the hose.
Give me a little poof poof.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are some places that are shisty and stupid about it though, where
What?
they're like, "Did you want a little bit extra air? That's an extra 25 cents." Like, fuck you, dude.
Fuck
Charge
you.
me for air. Just put some air in there and shut up.
Yeah, no shit. Fuckers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to hell and charge people to keep air in a bag and charge people to breathe.
You're right. It's hot down here. Can I interest you in some air?
Oh, another through line quick that I want to talk about before we jump off the buckets. This goes again, through line. I'm talking about this is for all baits, but this is one that I've particularly had to deal with the buckets. And I want to know your thoughts too, as you're saying, like over a weekend, right? Because that's sort of what we're trying to say here is like keeping bait alive is like a few days. We're not sitting here trying to like make a worm farm or anything like that. But if you're going up north for the weekend, that's Minnesota talk.
Yep.
And you got a thing of night crawlers, you got a thing of minnows. You're going up Friday. You want to keep it alive until Sunday sometime, right? Like you want live bait for when you're still fishing on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
So this is the through line this is what I'm trying to get to. Some are going to die. Get the dead ones out of there.
Oh yeah.
You don't know why they died. You don't want that death spreading. They're fucking decaying and whatever, that rot. Just get them out of there. So even if you're not fishing that day, check your fucking live bait. Kick them out of there. Just go check it every day. Get the dead ones out. It's going to help whole batch.
Yeah. Because I don't know how fast they start to decay either, but they put out the carbon dioxide when they decay. So they're taking away from your oxygen source that's in there. But also, like you said, you don't know why they die. So it could be disease.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I know there's been times where I've left them in the minnow bucket and I go, hopefully they last till next week. And then you come up and every single one of them is dead and they're already like furry. They're just like these little chunks of fur. Just like nasty, dude. It's only like a week. You guys must have died right away to have that much mold on you or whatever the fuck that is already.
Yeah, it was a short fucking week. I was only gone 3 days. What the fuck?
Right.
Damn, dude.
Yeah. So when it's hot out, and that's the other thing, that if you can get an anchor system, it keeps them in place a little bit better. But like when you tie them up to the one side of the dock, when you leave, you're just like, oh yeah, the wind's blowing them underneath the dock. That's perfect. How many times did the wind shift while you were gone?
Right.
And they got blown out into the heat, and it's already, it's like 100 degrees. The surface temperature is already hot. The sun's beating on that thing.
Right.
The water inside that thing gets up to like 85, 90 degrees, and all those fish die and turn into fur balls immediately.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And I don't know. I mean, I'm going all the way to like beginner, but some real beginner advice is just like open the thing up, look at it, scoop your hand in there, throw them out. Like it doesn't take for fucking ever to upkeep the bait. You know what I mean? Like that's the message that I'm trying to say here about the live stuff is like really easy. I'm sure crayfish are different because they don't move around a ton, but I'm sure they crawl around like crabbies when you pull them out of the water or something. I've never seen a large group of fresh crayfish just crawling around, so I don't know. But I'm just saying, generally speaking, not super hard to find the dead ones. Just do it quick. It's not that hard. Just open it up, throw it out. You can usually find a dead worm because it's already discolored, or you try to grab it and it doesn't wiggle. Like if there's just there's no wigglers.
Right. Yeah, worms seem to last forever as long as you
But
keep them cool.
yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. So,
Yeah.
uh, let's talk about night crawlers first.
Yeah.
You've already said it a bunch. Keep them in the refrigerator, or you said keep them cool. Refrigerate, right? Like you just
Yeah.
throw them in the
I'll put them in the
refrigerator.
fridge. Yeah. They're always ready to roll. You keep them in the fridge.
It actually
I
says
can,
on one brand I know that I've bought, it says on there, it says like keep at this many degrees or whatever. Like
oh, yeah,
it
yeah,
like
yeah.
has a little hint on the top of it.
Yep. Yeah, because they prefer, I mean, like when they're in your yard, they're underneath the ground.
Right.
The ground doesn't get that hot when you get down a little bit, you know?
Right.
So that's what they prefer.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've had them before where like you have worms, you use them 1 week, and then you put them in the fridge, come back next week, fine. Put them in the
Fuck yeah.
fridge next week, fine.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Really?
they can last for weeks and weeks because I
Wow.
don't know what they eat, but the nourishment they need is like in that dirt, I guess, and they just kind of like scoot around in there and they live forever.
Yeah, that's what I actually have written
Till you
down
forget
is
them in the sun one time.
yeah,
Whoops!
there you go.
Yikes! It gets so gross. That's the worst. I'd much rather have to deal with the aftermath of leaving minnows in a bucket over the weekend than having to deal with worms
Oh,
in the
yeah.
hot.
Is it because the slime that comes out of them or what? What is it?
Dude, they just like disintegrate.
No way.
There's like 5 different colors in there and it's just
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah, see that's what I was
Yeah.
talking about with the colors, like with the if you're digging out if you're going in to check your bait and it's worms, the night crawlers, they
Yeah.
usually you can just see the color. You're like, there's
Yeah.
something fucked up with this one.
Well, when you leave them in the heat too, I don't know what happens to them, but it's like you open it up and it's yellow and red and brown, and you're like, oh, fucking shit. You're only supposed to be brown, dude. What is
What
the
the
rest of that? It's almost immediate too. You just open it up. You don't even try to salvage any of it. You know,
you just know
if
it's
one's
fucked right
gone, it's
away.
over. Yeah, dude. I mean, you know it's fucked almost immediately when you see what you've done. You just look over and you're like, oh shit, dude, the worms are in the sun.
Fuck. Left the night crawlers out in the shit.
And you just go and you just like, maybe I got lucky, and you just pop the top and you're just like, ah, no. You put it on and you just go throw it away right away. Like, that's trash. I'm not, they're all dead for
Oh,
sure.
that's
I
just
don't care.
garbage now.
Yep, this is done. That one on the top is toast. The rest of them are dead too. I'm not even gonna try.
But so I don't I first of all, if there's soil in there, yes, hopefully that has enough nutrition in it and that keeps them. I also read that cornmeal, you can sprinkle a little cornmeal in there. They eat cornmeal. I was like, what? Okay.
Oh,
And compost because they eat compost. So if
sure.
I'm assuming if you get a good batch, like your 2 week long batch, whoever makes those whoever packages those night crawlers up, they probably
Yeah.
have a mix of compost and soil. That'd be my guess.
Huh.
Is it's a compost soil mix that they've thrown in there. And
Yeah.
yeah, dude, those worms are gonna stay alive for a long while. You put them in the fridge.
Yeah.
They're gonna hang out for a bit from what I could see or from what I read. Now that leads me to this question: is have you ever bought night crawlers that don't have soil in there?
I've bought the ones that have like it looks like newspaper.
Yeah, that gray newspaper. That's what I was gonna say,
Yeah.
dude. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know what it is, but like maybe it
Yeah.
is just gray newspaper. I have no
I don't
fucking
like
clue.
it, dude. It's like watery and mushy, and it's just
Uh huh. Uh huh.
I don't like it. I don't know
I
why.
don't like it either.
I don't know why it exists, but yeah, I've had it before,
Yeah.
and I've had them where they come in the tubs, but like
The
a lot of
tub.
them come in like the little styrofoam that keeps them cooler. Like it keeps them. I like
Yeah.
those because
Mm-hmm.
it keeps them. You know, like once you get the dirt and stuff cold, it's almost like insulated, so you don't have to worry about
Yeah.
it. It's like
They're like
if
little
you just hide
styrofoam
them.
coolers, basically. They're
Yeah.
like tailor made to keep
Yep.
worms in. It's a styrofoam
And
cooler
as
tailor
long
made to keep night
yeah,
crawlers in.
and as long as you don't keep them in the sun, you keep them in the shade, they'll last for your outing. Just remember to bring them back and put them in the fridge when you get back.
Right. Right.
But yeah,
In
this
those
I've had them.
styrofoam thingies.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
but I've had them where it's like the same tub as like what leeches are in, except for
What
like
are leeches in? I don't buy enough.
leeches are in, like if you ever buy like the small size potato salad from the deli,
Yeah.
that
Yeah, it's just
is like that
that
little.
clear like quarter pint case or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yep,
So
yeah,
you've
that's what
seen
they put
night
them in.
crawlers in that shit?
Yeah, but they don't put them in the clear one. They have like uh the ones that I've normally seen have
Frosted.
just been like blue, no, just blue. Like it's
Oh yeah,
100%
yeah,
you
yeah.
can't see through it.
Yeah, I know. I've seen a white one too. I've seen white
Yeah, because
and
I've
light
seen
blue.
they have
Yep.
angler worms in those, and I've seen like the smaller angler worms are like smaller than night crawlers.
Yeah, they're still an earthworm, but they're just not
Yeah,
fat and slimy as much.
yeah, they're like smaller and
Yeah.
skinnier, and
Yeah.
I don't get those. You get the night crawlers if you
Yeah.
want a smaller piece. You just
Just rip it off.
cut them off. Yeah, rip them off, whatever.
Right. Yep.
So yeah, I don't know what people use angler worms for, but I never buy them ever. But that's a lot of times what the angler worm will come in is those, or like
Mm-hmm.
a big batch of wax worms. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you can get like a 100, 200 count of wax worms, and
God
it'll come in a
damn.
big ass tub like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about waxies then for a little bit there. Same
Yeah.
thing. Keep them in the fridge. Just keep them in what you got. That's what I found out. So, like, to go back to the night crawlers really quick, we were talking about that gray, like, paper fucking shit or whatever. If you're looking for a weekend, I don't know, but I wouldn't necessarily buy that one. I would find one with soil in it if you're trying to keep these things, like Tim said, even 2 weeks maybe.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
the fucking night crawlers in the soil. Whatever that gray shit is, you're probably getting 1 day out of it. I don't know, because that's been my experience. I haven't bought, like, I'm not speaking from day after day, year after year, or anything like that, but like, I don't know, just seems obvious to me. But the reason why I said is keep it in the container for the wax worms, and I brought that, back to the night crawlers, is because if it's not in a good container, not in good soil, fucking night crawler will die. I mean,
Right.
it's somewhat sensitive. Wax worms, no,
Yeah.
fuck them. They'll live anywhere. Just keep them in their thing. They're like, everything I read was like, oh no, they're super resilient. They don't need food. Just fucking keep them cold in the fridge, and they'll stay alive. They're maggots.
They'll be fine. Yeah. Right. That's what they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know what kind. They'll actually stay waxworms forever. Eurolarva. Because I think a waxworm might actually be kind of like a worm.
Well, what I found on the waxworm is that they turn into wax moths. And I was like, what?
Oh. See, I don't know. Maybe that's how it works, is that
maybe
they have
it's
to like
different.
maybe they have to like make a cocoon then. Maybe they are just like a caterpillar type thing.
Yeah.
Where like if you don't give them the area to go into a tree and make a cocoon or whatever they have to do, that they don't change. But Eurolarva,
yeah, tell me more about
which
that.
is more, Eurolarva is more of a thing that I only really see show up when it's ice fishing time.
Oh.
But Eurolarva are just straight up maggots. Like if you leave Eurolarva, if you try to keep Eurolarva, they just eventually turn into flies.
Oh, fuck. Ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
I know,
Well, there's a live bait keeping tip. Don't fucking keep your Eurolarva.
Right. I mean, I don't know how long it takes,
right.
but I had it happen once. Like I forgot I had shit with my ice fishing equipment. I brought my ice fishing equipment in. I said, oh shit, I forgot about the Eurolarva like a week later or whatever.
Yeah.
And I go down, and the thing that was full of Eurolarva that I'm expecting to be gross like the worms, where it's just going to be a gross mess in here, is just now a little plastic thing full of flies. And I go, oh, no fucking way, dude. They just turn into flies. That's crazy.
Holy shit, dude. That is wild.
Yeah.
That is so crazy. That, fucking sounds
And they're
gross.
not house flies either. They're pretty big.
Oh, like shit flies? Like the kinds with the shiny green butts?
It could be. I didn't look at it too much. It was gross. I was just
It was
like,
gross to look
oh,
at. Yeah.
flies, yuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. That.
One of those things where you find them, you just grab them, you go, fuck, oh, that's gross. You throw them away.
Yep. Yep.
Then you want to tell somebody about it, so you go try to tell your wife, and she's like, "No, fuck, no, don't even tell me." Fuck, oh.
You're like, no, but I have to tell someone. I have to get this out of my head.
I have to. You gotta. And then you just go, fine. I won't say it. Your lifers are they're flies.
So yeah, I guess I didn't do like full research. I just looked up waxworms and been like, and I was like, well, what do you do to keep them? And they're like, nothing. You just keep
nothing.
Keep them cold. They're just they're gonna turn into a moth if you wait.
Do you
long
know
enough.
what I saw?
Huh.
They seem a little expensive for what they are, but I don't know. Maybe they would really work out and it would make sense to get. But I seen mummified waxworms you can get now, and they have bright red ones and like neon green ones.
What?
And they come in a little thing like this, and they're just hanging on the shelf by like the tackle.
Really?
Yep. Yeah. So I was like, I don't know.
Weird.
Yeah, I was like, how effective would those be?
Yeah.
Versus like some of the other stuff, like because it looked like they're the same price about.
Yeah.
As a whole jar of like the Gulp Alive stuff. Or
yeah,
like the
that's
Gulp,
what I was.
Like has those little marshmallows and stuff, and that's so much more bait. And I was like, which are they that good to justify this price?
Right. And is there something about it having been alive versus like completely artificial?
And I could definitely see in a certain time of the year, when you got like mayflies are hatching or whatever.
Sure.
And those mayflies, before they hatch, they swim up and they're kind of like little bugs that look kind of like that. I could see how like certain times a year that those baits could really excel.
Right.
But I don't know. I haven't talked to any. I just found them a couple weeks ago and I haven't really looked into them. I just like, it was one of those things where I'm like, oh, that's different. Look
right.
At that.
Cool. Just looking at it again like that. Okay.
Yeah. Putting it back on the shelf. Like, I'm going to tell people about this. And then that's it.
That's nuts.
Yeah. So if anybody out there knows, you have info, if you got preference on any live bait, hit us up.
Let us know.
Yeah. Do you catch crappies on worms? Because I don't. I only catch them on crappie minnows.
Oh.
Let me know. Tell me. Say something.
Yeah. Leave it in the comments so we can have a conversation about it.
I hear people catch crappies on waxworms and stuff too. Another thing that I don't use, I always go with minnows. I never fail with minnows. Mm-hmm. Minnows every time works all the time. But I do hear sometimes people get crazy with like they'll like double up on their bait.
What?
Like
they'll put a waxworm and a fucking crappie on?
Yeah. They'll put like, I'll put a crappie minnow on there with a waxworm. And then, I don't know, they'll do that kind of shit. People do that shit ice fishing too. Ice fishing is where it gets really weird. Where you're just like, I'll go out with a live minnow or I'll go out with this.
Mm-hmm.
And then you talk to some old timer and he's like, no, what you need to do is you need to go waxworm, minnow head, waxworm. You're like,
right.
Why does that work this time of year, but we don't do this in the summer? Why just the minnow head?
Right.
With 2 waxworms. I don't know. It's weird shit like that all the time. I've heard of people using 2 minnows. I've heard of just people tipping shit where it's just like, I'll put the minnow on with this bait and that, and people get crazy. So let us know if you're out there and you're listening and you have some sort of a concoction that you're willing to share, because you're not one of these weirdos that's just like, I'm not going to tell you anything.
Right.
Just let people. I mean, how many people are you really gonna think that this is gonna go wildfire?
Yeah, and also how many
That's
people are gonna fucking use that exact technique, come to your exact spot, and fucking catch your quotes fish?
yeah.
It's not gonna
I
happen.
know.
That's why we're out
There's
here
one.
doing this shit.
I know some people. I just don't understand why people don't want to share the knowledge. There was one guy
I
that I
know.
worked
More
with.
people fishing. It's gonna be
Oh my
better.
gosh, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, just let them, give them the knowledge.
Yeah.
If they catch fish, good. That's awesome. Uh, Speaking of giving them the knowledge, this is just random thought. Went out with my nephew this last weekend.
Oh yeah.
We make a pass. First off, night Friday night, no Saturday night, we go out and no, what? Yeah, Saturday night. My son catches his first walleye ever.
Nice.
Not a big one, but he's 6 years old and he caught a walleye. So
Yeah.
I'm like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Like, not only did you catch your first walleye, you caught a walleye letting us know a little bit about what's what. We go out the next day. My nephew catches a 20-inch walleye. That's his personal best. And I'm
Hell
like,
yeah.
hell yeah, dude. We drift past this one spot. And I'm like, that's where I thought they were going to be. And I was like, since we caught that one there, let's just drive, take the big motor, pull the trolling motor out. We're going to drive back because boat traffic and stuff, it was the Memorial Day weekend. It was crazy.
Right.
I'm like, we're
Yeah,
going
I'm
to just
sure.
drift back. The wind's blowing us perfectly right along where I want to go. We go again. Breaks his personal best on the next pass with a 23-incher.
No way, dude.
Yeah, so he goes personal best with personal best.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, dude, I was pretty pumped on that.
That is great.
So, anyways, if anybody's out there listening and you're hearing stuff you want to share, that's cool. Oh, and what I was going to say is that there was a guy that I worked with one time where he said something about how he used to fish with Babe Winkleman.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if you know Babe.
Yeah,
Babe
yeah.
is,
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's pretty famous. He's one of the originators. He didn't get as big as Al Linder, but he was one of the first guys out there where people knew Babe Winkleman is like as Minnesota as it gets.
Yeah.
Like longer blonde hair, always wearing like a red and black flannel. Like he looked like if you could mix together, like if you said make the brawny guy from the paper towels
Norwegian.
like a more realistic Minnesotan.
Yeah.
That's what you get Babe Winkleman. But Babe fished with this guy, I guess, and they were friends. And then they don't hang out anymore. And he told me about it. And he's like, because I told him one of my things that I do. And then he went and told everybody on his show. And it was like, the fuck did you think was going to happen? He has a fishing show.
Right.
If you give him a good tip, he's like, that is a good point.
Right.
Thank you for sharing it with me.
Yeah.
I will now share it with all them.
Right.
That's the whole point.
Right.
And just being like, shouldn't have ever told anybody my secrets. Like, and it was just bullshit. And not, like nothing at all.
Sure.
And I'm just trying to ask him, and I'm like, well, what was it? And he's like, oh, another one. Now you want to know too, huh? And just like, all right, dude, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. I'm never going to talk to you again.
Right.
I don't fish the lake you're on. I don't know where you're at. I don't know what you're doing. It's
right.
It's the time of day, the water that you're in, where you're fishing, how you're fishing, all this other stuff. They all play a role. You could tell me what you do on your lake. I could go try it on my lake, and it doesn't work for shit.
Right.
You know, just dumb. People like that I can't fucking stand.
Right. Like it all sounds made up almost at that point, right? Like you almost just kind of want to be like, you're making up the story.
Yep.
In a way.
But I should say too that in the moment, you don't have to tell people what you're doing. You know, that's different.
Oh yeah.
Right, that moment, you don't want to get crowded while you're out there. He caught that 23-incher. I netted it, and some people were driving by on a jet ski.
Uh-huh.
And I was just like, had the net kind of in the water. As soon as I knew it was safe, I'm just like looking up, and I'm like, what's that? I'm just like looking up and looking. It's just like, don't look over there.
What's that? What is an eagle? Is that an eagle?
Yeah. What the birds? And as soon as those people passed, that's when I brought it in the water, out of the water.
Right.
But while they were driving, I was just acting like there's nothing in the net to see. That's more interesting up there, whatever that is.
That cloud is shaped like a dick. You see that?
Yeah. because I wanted to keep passing by that same spot.
Right. Yeah. You don't want them.
Like, don't get in my way. I'm just drifting here. Don't fuck this up for me.
Right.
But then, of course, people fuck it up. It's not that big of a lake. And when you have heavy boat traffic,
Yeah. You just get away.
I'm sitting on the dock just watching people drive by in like 10 feet of water. And I'm like, right over the fish. You're right over the fish. Fuck, dude.
Fuck. Get out of here. But speaking of boats, though, nice transition, Josh. Good one. The live well on the boat.
Yep.
I read some. So you said something about leeches, and we'll go into leeches next, probably a little more.
Yeah.
I read some about leeches, and they're like, put them in the live well, and I'm like, how the fuck you get to catch a leech if you put them in the live well? That's a big fucking area to catch that slimy little windy little bastard.
Yep.
And they were like, oh yeah, keep them in a small container or in a small live well or something. And I was like, what the fuck? Anyways, so you kind of explained it, but the live well first, like, do you load it up with ice and use it as a cooler sometimes? Do you have two live wells? Is this why people have second live wells? You keep the minnows in the live well? Like, so I don't know much about it.
Yeah.
Couldn't find much about it.
Some boats actually have a bait well.
Oh shit.
Where it's a lot like more shallow.
Okay.
So you don't have this giant space you're trying to catch shit in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's smaller and it'll work kind of the same. But if you have it where it's set, like my dad's boat there's the auto switch that you can flip on.
Okay.
And what it has is there's a pipe that you stick in there in the hole of the live well.
Okay.
So when you pull that out, it'll completely drain. But when you have it in there, it kind of works like how your toilet works with the water when it fills up,
Yeah.
If you ever take that thing off the toilet, you can see that there's like a white pipe in there.
Yeah.
And when the water gets to a certain point, it won't let the tank overflow.
Right.
Because the water will just run inside that pipe.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So it only lets it get to a certain depth before the water just starts flowing back into the lake. So when you have it on that auto, it just automatically every once in a while will like cycle new water in there for a while, and it'll like flush out the old stuff.
Right.
Yeah. And the bait one is kind of the same thing if you have like a bait well on there. But when you're talking like leeches and stuff, that's kind of the thing I was talking about, like that little cylinder. They make those, or they make what look kind of like a Ziploc baggie, but it like floats. There's like, it's like a mesh Ziploc baggie where like water can flow through it and like the top floats.
Oh.
So you can just have like your leeches in this baggie and then you just like toss it in there and the top keeps it on the top of the live well and they're all in.
Oh.
And then you just pop it up and open up your baggie and
shit.
Pull it out. Yeah, dude. So there's a couple different options when it comes to that.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, I had no idea. I was just like, live wells, what? How? That makes a lot more sense though.
Yeah. And I think some of the bait ones too are made where they almost have like its own like a colander almost.
What's that?
Where like they're or like
I'm blanking on what
like a strainer.
Yeah.
For like pasta.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's like built into the bottom. So like the whole bait thing is kind of there. And if you need something, you can just like lift up the whole bottom.
Whoa.
So instead of like them swimming around and you trying to catch them, you just literally go like, now you're not in water. Scoop.
Then you just take it out. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. There's not much those fuckers can do once the water's gone. That's the same thing with the bucket. The bucket, if you ever need a minnow and they're like pissing you off, you can just turn it and like let all the water drain out.
Yeah. Yep.
And then you can just grab one and then you put it back in the water.
And it fills back up and good to go. Right.
Yep.
And it doesn't hurt them to do that. I mean, they're out of the fucking water for 3 seconds. It's so fast. It's not going to hurt the longevity of the minnow by any means.
Not as long as you can get the water back in,
Right.
you know.
Which, why can't you? Because you left it on the boat
Right.
on accident and left it in the sun.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like
Oops.
or like at our buddy Sam's uh bachelor party when we had that pontoon boat
Yeah. What
and we
happened there?
kept driving around just fast enough for the minnow bucket to plane out.
Oh, that's right.
So then the water would drain. We killed the whole minnow bucket twice. I kept forgetting. Everybody was a little bit inebriated,
Oops.
and then like the driver of the boat was not.
Right.
Probably I don't know. I don't think I was driving it. But I remember that, yeah, it was like we would just drive around. We weren't going that fast, but we were going fast enough for that thing to just get onto the surface of the
Yeah.
water. And all the water would drain out. And then you just go like, oh, you grab the minnow. And you like look. I remember, I think we got like 2 scoops of minnows the first time and then killed them all. And then the people at the gas station probably thought we were crazy or we were really hammering them. Because I feel like we showed up like a half hour later and we're like, all right, we need like all of your Gatorades because we've all been drinking and we need to hydrate. And also 2 more scoops of minnows. You guys just buy 2. And then we killed all those. Dude. I never felt stupider in my life. I'm like, oh god damn it, we killed them all again, dude. It was just a massacre. We killed 4 scoops of minnows in like 2 hours. It's so stupid.
Oops. That's a good tip on how to not keep your.
Yes, so that's one thing. Yeah, that is a good point, actually. You can, with the minnow bucket, when you have them out in the water, you can, like when you're fishing out there, you can take the minnow bucket and you can set it in the back. When you're fishing early springtime and the water and the air are cold, you can leave that shit in the back of the boat out of the sun. And they will last without actually having to put them back in the water.
Yeah.
Like little crappie minnows they'll last for a while. You don't have to put them in
Yeah.
the water. So you're not constantly like lifting the bucket up every time you need a new one. Because when the crappie spawn is on, you're going through minnows like a motherfucker. But you can tie it on the outside and just leave it float in the water. But like that time, if you forget to pull it back out, depending on how long your drive is, the water drains and that shit's just surfing on the surface. And, you know, if you're only driving for like 30 seconds, it's not too big of a deal. But if you're driving for more than that, which we were in a pontoon boat, not going that fast.
Right.
When you get to your destination, all of them are dead.
Them are
if
dead.
You go too fast, that thing will start bouncing.
But yeah, that's what I was also going to say is every time I've done it, every time I moved the boat with a bucket on the side, I pulled a bucket and then go.
Oh, yeah.
Except for that time. I was there. Yep. I'm just saying.
I know, right.
I wasn't paying attention to the bait.
I know, dude. I never did it before either. I don't know what the hell happened. That one was just we were definitely
one of those we're focused on other things moments.
We were definitely all focused on everything else.
Leeches. Okay, let's just quick thing, leeches, because those you said you kept in the fridge too.
Yep.
Keep the water clean, take the dead ones out. We've already talked about that.
Yep.
Live well, you talked about a little bit, but then you said something, and this is the one I wanted to go over again. You just keep them in that little container and throw them in float, let them float on top of the water in the live well. Is that another thing that you did? Is that what you said?
I've never done that, but I bet it would work.
See, I thought, okay. I thought I heard you say that.
No, if you just have a little bit of air in it though, you know, those are never completely full of water.
Right.
I'm sure it would just float around on the surface. I've never thought about it.
Yeah.
But I bet it would work.
Just to get them out of the sun quick or something like that.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to put them in the cooler, just poof. Live well's full. Probably hang out, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, have you ever fished with bugs?
Yeah, but I don't like it.
Okay. Because I read about like crickets and jumpy shit, you know, like that.
Yeah, those, yeah.
And it was like, it was basically like a reptile site that was like, you can keep, you just keep crickets like this. You just, It's exactly how you did it as a kid. You fucking put them in a jar,
Right.
poke some holes, put some shit in there, you know?
Right.
Oh, yeah, I did say fruit, though. If you throw some fruit in there, that's going to keep them
Oh,
alive. So you could just have your own bucket of jumpy shit.
yeah. No,
Um,
I don't care for bugs.
but yeah, I was like, how do you even hook? I've
So
never fished with bugs. I would have never even thought of using crickets as a fucking bait.
you just like hook them through the back or whatever.
I guess that's what I was going to
They
say. Where do you
have,
hook it?
yeah, they have an exoskeleton. So like a lot of them have like a collar,
Mm.
like it's the head.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, I forget all the terms. The thorax, is that the
Okay.
ass
I
basically?
think
Or is
so.
that the mid
No, I
part?
think the thorax is the ass.
I think it's like the head, abdomen, thorax
Something like that.
on a lot of them like that. But I think right above the head or like right
Right
behind the
behind
head,
the head.
you can go through like the back and then pop it out
Okay.
and then just let them kind of like freak out on the surface or whatever. But that
That's
that
what I was
works
thinking about. I
because
was like, how do I get it underwater? But I guess it's a topwater bait.
yeah, with bugs, a lot of bugs fall on the surface and they'll come and just eat it.
Right. Okay.
You can catch a lot of panfish doing that,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Sure. I've seen.
bass and stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
I have baits that look like bugs, so then I just use those.
Right.
You know, I have poppers, some little poppers that look like grasshoppers, so I use those.
Okay.
Those are money on the river,
Really?
where yeah,
Like
because
long
there's
grass
like
along the side of the river. So these like crickets and
well,
grasshoppers are jumping in it all the time.
I
So
mean, just to get something that kind of looks and mimics an insect,
mhm.
like where you have the smallmouth will sometimes be like underneath trees that are kind of like closer to the water,
Yeah.
waiting for shit to fall out of the trees and land on the surface.
Right. Okay.
And then you toss that bug in and they just come and smash it right away because they're just waiting for a bug to fall. And as soon as a bug hits the surface, they go, there's one.
Yep. And then
And
wham.
they fuck it up. You don't even need to do anything. You don't need to pop it or nothing.
Nice.
You just the bug hitting the surface is all they've been waiting for.
Right.
Yeah.
So they smash it as soon as it hits, basically.
Smash. Yep.
Nice. Uh
Yeah. So I mean, if you want to use bugs, I'm sure it would work very well in a situation like that.
right. Right. And you can keep them. I mean, they're bugs. They're going to last for a while. Like I
Yeah.
said, you get a jar and poke some holes in the top, put some grass in there. It's like that's what
Yeah.
the recommendation was. A little
So
bit of fruit to
yeah,
keep them alive longer, but
I guess that's just personal preference because I've had that shit too. Like my wife's stepfather
mm-hmm.
has like had a tree trimming business. I
Mm-hmm.
think he still kind of does it, but he would cut down trees and he'd find those grubs. He'd try to hand it to me and he'd just be like, those are really good for fishing. I'm like, I'm not fucking with those giant ass white gross fucking things. Some of them got pincers on it and stuff. He's like, yeah, sometimes you get pinched, but it's worth it. I'm just like, I'm not trying to get pinched by that shit.
No.
I don't know some of that stuff. And then it's like not even worth it. I've tried to do it before and then nothing bites it. And you're just like, I went through this bullshit to get nothing off of it. I'm not, never again, bro.
Right. No more.
It's gross.
Ew.
It's icky, dude. It's icky.
That's awesome. Dude. Oh shit. All right. Let's wrap up on that. I hope that was enough live bait keeping tips. Help you out there. I feel I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah.
Bait can be expensive too. Oh shit, we didn't cover shiners. I do want to go to shiners quick.
Yeah.
Hard to keep alive. They are not very resilient.
Yes. They are not.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about it. You got to keep that water oxygenated. You got to keep it clean. These are like they're expensive, and this is a high maintenance, keep alive kind of thing. So maybe don't buy enough for the weekend. I don't know, Tim.
Right. No, I would suggest trying to just buy what you think you're going to use.
Yeah.
And do your best to not,
leave them in the sun.
Yeah, don't do that for sure. Those are ones that definitely seem like it would make sense to try to keep them in the live well or a bait well if you have an option to do that.
Right. Okay.
I'm sure they make like a bigger version of what I was talking about for the leeches too, to like just have a thing
Oh,
that sits
okay.
inside the live well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure there's some sort of a thing that floats inside of it that maybe like a bait bucket that allows the water to pass through. So you're just dealing with the same water that you're keeping other fish alive in, you know?
Okay. Yep.
So I'm sure there's something like that.
Sure.
And that's what I would suggest if you have the means of doing it, to try to do that. Because yeah, I've heard lots of people. I mean, the joke I've always heard is just like, you look at a shiner wrong, it's fucking dead. So I don't know, like shield your eyes until you need to use them. Just be like, I'm not even gonna. Yeah, do you guys shiners? Yeah, but don't fucking look at them, dude. Don't look at them. They're right over there. When you need one, grab one. But until then, avert your eyes, because they will.
Yeah, that's that's all I read. I didn't find any equipment for him or anything like that. But they, yeah, you said it. Just maybe don't try to keep them.
Yeah,
Try to use
definitely
them up.
don't be one. Yeah, they're not cheap either. I think they're like,
That's what I'm saying.
a lot
Like,
of places are like $8.50 for a dozen.
yeah,
You know, it's not a scoop. It's, you can buy a half dozen or a dozen.
yeah,
Don't go out there spending $17 on 2 dozen of them, thinking you're going to have them for the weekend if you're not ready to make sure you're taking care of them, because
Right.
that's going to be a bummer. I spent $7.
right.
I'm sure they have to deal with that too, with some people coming up there not knowing what they're doing.
Oh shit!
It's $17 on your biggest minnows and they all died. Well, you got shit minnows.
Right.
Then you just got to hope that actual fishermen are in there and just be like, you can't blame them, bro.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Right.
They die. You got to know what you're getting into.
Yeah, for sure. So yes.
Yeah.
There's our bait. There's our tip on shiners. Buy what you need.
Buy what you need. Buy a half dozen. If you have the means of getting back to the bait shop, maybe a half dozen at a time.
Right is the option. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Okay. Good. That's a good note. That's a better note to end on. Not that it wasn't bad before, but that was a good one.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Well, I gotta take a piss, so let's get into the break.
Yeah.
Welcome to the random take of the Really FTV podcast, show about fishing random takes from land 10,000 lakes. I said, oh, it's coming to get me now. It's coming to get me.
I said,
Yeah. There wasn't really break. I'll put it, I don't know. We're doing a new thing now where there's no big break in the middle. So I got to figure out the transition and working on the, anyways, whatever. Tim.
Yep.
I want to talk about what I'm calling hot beef summer.
Hot beef. Jeffrey Atkins painting never hurt nobody.
Yeah, that's right. I think beef wrap is back, dude.
Yeah.
Right?
Beef.
There was the Tupac and Biggie thing in the 90s there.
Yeah.
And then it's like things cooled off for a little while. And then came Eminem and 50 and like shit got real again. Like beef rap was back.
Yeah, with Ja.
Oh, Ja.
Yeah.
All kinds of people. Eminem went at it with
Eminem
everybody.
was, yeah. With Benzino.
Yep.
And
Everlast.
Ja, and who else? Yeah, Everlast, Moby.
That's right. All the boy bands.
Yeah. Fred Durst.
But they didn't have anything to go back. That's right. Him and Durst did beef there for a bit, didn't they?
Yeah. It was just like all one person says something.
Yeah.
Someplace. And it's just kind of a mind your business type thing.
Yeah.
As soon as you say something about them because they asked a question.
Right.
They should just be like, no comment. Instead, they say something and then, whoops, you're in his next song.
Yeah, pretty much. And then it seemed like that cooled off, like that what was that, early 2000s into the 10s.
Yeah.
It seems like that cooled off, and now all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Fucking
Oh, and ICP. Can't forget about that
that's
one.
right. Yeah, M
He
had that
went
beef
after
with
that.
ICP.
There's a whole song about ICP.
That's right.
A whole verse or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yep. So yeah, and it seemed like that cooled off, and now all of a sudden, here it is. And that's why I called it Hot Beef Summer. It's like, oh shit. I think it's coming
Yeah.
back. M, speaking of which, roasted
Yeah.
Benzino again.
I know. So M's never, almost seems like he's never really stopped. Because
Oh yeah. Yep.
it wasn't too long ago where he had, for whatever reason, like seeming out of nowhere. I don't remember exactly how the beef started, but Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah. Yep. And him and MGK
comes out
for
and
a
he's
while.
trying to MGK. He's like, I'm gonna battle Eminem, and Eminem's like, fuck you. And then MGK is just like, I wear pink and I'm a punk now.
Right. I don't rap anymore.
He always shuts down. You battle Eminem, you're just over. And instead, MGK isn't like, my career's not over. I'm just not the same guy anymore. I'm just not. I wear pink now and I'm punk. You're like, okay, whatever, dude.
Okay. But I couldn't believe it that Benzino and Eminem were back at it. I'm like, what the
dude,
fuck?
Benzino is such a bitch.
He's never it's just trying to ride the coattails shit. Totally.
He's just been a piece of shit his whole fucking life. He's just been like, I'm so on Eminem's side with this. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's just, I mean, he was part owner of that Source magazine.
Yeah.
And he just starts he had some garbage ass rap group before that. And he was giving himself like 5 Mike Awards and shit, which is basically like saying it's a perfect record. Yeah, it was that kind of shit. So everybody's just like, oh, come on, your shit's garbage, dude. You're not 5 mics.
I didn't know that he did the 5 mic shit too. Oh my
yeah,
God.
he was getting like way more press. Like they were like on the cover of the Source one time back in the day, and everybody's just like, how the fuck is this one getting played? Like, how would they get, like this is ridiculous.
Everybody heard their shit. What the fuck?
Yeah, there's no reason. They're trying to be like this new rap groups, the 5 mics on their album. This is all dog shit garbage. But then he's just a flip flopper and stuff. He comes out, and did you see the interview where he cried?
Oh no, but I read about like how that was part of it because it was on Drink Champs.
Oh yeah, and they say something about it or whatever. I've only seen the part where he's crying, so I don't know what was said to him.
Yeah,
but he's just like, oh, he's literally like crying like heavy.
Yeah,
and he's like, I'm just so sick of it. For the last 20 years, every interview has been just like Eminem this, Eminem. I'm sick of answering these questions. He's like, he said something along the lines of, Eminem's not a bad rapper. He's like, whatever. He's just like, he can do this. And then like, not that long after that, he's just like, I think Eminem's garbage. I don't think he's all that good. He's like, yeah. And then he put out a diss track against them.
Again.
And they said something about if you think he's going to respond. And he's just like, he better respond. I'm just like, what the fuck you mean he better respond? Like, yeah, in your eyes, he better respond so you can try to be relevant again because you're not going anywhere. You're not doing anything on your own.
Right. Yeah. It's been totally chasing like one of the top dog situations. Like just.
Yeah.
Riding coattails. It's all he's trying to do, but like in a negative way. I mean, I'm, whatever, but.
And then Eminem did put out another diss track, but I think that one's more of just like, I'm not just going to let you say this. Like, I guess I'll go in and destroy you again real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Even though this one wasn't the greatest diss ever, but I did like it.
It was a good song. Yeah, it's a good song.
Talking about how like you got no neck and you got short arms. You couldn't touch your hands together above your head if you're doing jumping jacks. So it's just like that's funny to think about. You can't, no neck.
That is funny to think about. That is funny to think about. Oh, that's good. That is good.
Oh yeah. Okay, dude. I gotta ask you.
Yeah.
I have been, because I've been interested since they've been talking about this shit. And you got Drake and Lamar.
Yeah.
Are going at it.
Yeah.
Where does everybody else come into play? I don't understand that part of it. I don't.
Dude, it's so fucking weird. So the only So yeah. So Drake puts out push-ups and I'm just like, what the fuck is this? And I'm listening and I'm like, oh shit, Drake and Ken are beefing? What the fuck is this about? So then Kenny comes out with his song almost immediately after it. His answer to that is Not Like Us. And I'm just like, okay. So Kendrick, yep. Is okay. And then in my feed pops up Rick Ross.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Rick Ross has a Drake diss too? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Ross goes hard, dude. Oof.
Dude, his is so good.
Oh, God. I'm not saying Kenny's is bad. I'm not saying that, like, Drake did a great job. I'm not saying Kendrick did a bad job. I'm not saying Kendrick did a great job either. But, again, okay. From what I understand is pretty much everybody that's, like, on Drake's side that Kendrick is making fun of.
Yeah.
They're just like his buddies. They're just like Drake's fucking entourage.
Okay.
So as far as like some of the names, the name dropping in there, but like, I have no idea how it started with Rick Ross, but in push-ups, he makes fun of Rick Ross. Like,
yeah,
he has a whole verse dedicated to just going at Rick Ross. I have no idea where it started, but that is why Rick has a song directly back at him.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I've heard that there's so many different guys involved in this. And then Drake's even saying, like, he's just like, what is this 1v21? Like, he's acting like there's so many people now.
Right. That
and it's just like, but yeah,
him.
But are you the reason that all these people are coming at you? Because so I did a lot of research on this, like just on my own before we even chatted about doing this, because I've just been trying to understand it.
Yeah, because I know. So did you see where it started? Jake, like the J. Cole thing, and then.
Well, what was the J. Cole thing?
Well, isn't that who it was? It was J. Cole, right? Yeah. J. Cole is just like J. Cole, like started it all basically, saying like there's 3 top dogs right now: me, Kendrick, and Drake.
Well, so
that's what I heard.
Like, I think that more like reignited it even, but like where it really started is that Drake is just kind of a sensitive bitch, is what it seems like. Honestly.
Yeah. That totally is like, I agree with that. That it just seemed like they were never going to get along. And then all of a sudden, I think J. Cole put them all 3 on the same level. Yeah. And I think it was just like,
I mean, this isn't gonna work. Maybe it was like on J. Cole's track or whatever, but I forget whose song it was. But there was a song where both Drake and Kendrick had a verse.
Okay.
And Kendrick basically named a bunch of dudes on there. And he was like, I don't care who you are. I'm trying to murder you. I'm trying to make all your fans not be your fans anymore. I'm trying to make them be my fans. Like, essentially, it was kind of like when everybody comes in and says, like, I'm the greatest rapper alive.
Yeah.
But just in a harsher way, of where he's just like,
Kendrick said
I don't care who. Yeah.
Oh
But
shit.
he's on the track with them and he's basically saying, I don't care
Oh.
who you are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to make it so they don't know who you are anymore. Like I want to be so big that they don't give a shit about you,
Right.
basically.
Yeah, I
And
heard that song. What the fuck was that?
most of the other guys that were named in that track were just like, oh yeah, dude, no, that's hard, dude. I like it. I like how he's, you know, it's almost like a metaphor. He's not really saying that he wants us all to fail. He's
Sure,
saying,
sure.
I want to be that big that it's like they don't even know who you are,
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
And like everybody was fine with it except for Drake is just like, I don't know, that didn't seem like such a nice thing to say.
Yeah.
And that's where it started. And the crazy thing is that one part I didn't understand from back in the day between both of them
Mm-hmm.
was that they kept putting verses out and it kept being like subliminal shit where it wasn't like straight out, this is what it is. They were kind of going back and forth.
Okay.
And they would like say something and then they'd say like, what's that about? And they'd just be like, oh, it's not about nothing. And then they'd like be cordial in person. And then they like were even on tracks after like some of it started coming
Oh,
out.
really?
And then it would just be like, yeah, no, we're cool. And then it'd be like another diss, like kind of in there and just be like, is he saying what I think?
Right, right.
And it was real weird for like two guys trying to be like, like we're hard, we're tough rappers, but then just have subliminal disses and just be like, oh no, that song wasn't about what you thought it was about. It's
Right,
just
right,
nothing.
right.
We're cool.
Yeah.
And it's like in person, they're just like, no, we're fine, we're fine. And then as soon as they get on the track, they're just like, yo, fuck you and your bitch. And then all of a sudden, like they go to the like they're like on, a radio show. One guy just goes, was that directed towards Kendrick? And just be like, oh no, I mean it was like I was just going through a moment thing and I put out a track or whatever and that's what that was. And he's just like, why
Oh
are
shit.
you not just fucking saying it? I don't
Right,
understand it.
right.
And it kept being all this weird shit where like Drake was kind of dissing Kendrick was dissing him, and then Drake would go online and just like, shout out to Kendrick for doing this or whatever. Or like weird shit where I saw somebody said that Kendrick and somebody else and something and Drake should all get on the track together.
Okay.
And like Drake goes and thumbs up that comment. And then Kendrick doesn't. And then all of a sudden another subliminal diss gets dropped like a month later.
Yeah, I think it's in Not Like Us where he does that. He like Kendrick says some shit about like go on Twitter and like do whatever the fuck. He basically calls him out for being a little bitch on social media about it. And I was like, okay. So that it's shit like that that's going down, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, there was other shit like, okay, so there was one where the album of the year ended up going to Macklemore.
Oh yeah, everybody knows that one. That was famous because it was going up against Good Kid, Mad Summer, which is like one of the best fucking records that's been made in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Dude.
So he wins it.
Good Kid, Mad
and then,
City. My bad. But anyways.
Yeah. And then after he wins it, he like DMs or texts Kendrick and says like, yo, you should have won.
You should have won. Yeah.
And then like screenshotted that. And then Macklemore like posted that on his social media saying like, here's the screenshot of me texting Lamar.
Yeah.
Saying you should have won.
Right.
So they have like after that, Drake makes a comment of like, why are you posting this? If you're going to be saying this stuff, you should just say it to him. You don't need to be posting it on social media. And then basically was just like, if you're going to be saying sorry to him, you should be saying sorry to all of us. Why are you singling out him? And it's almost like Drake was just
was
like,
Drake up that year for,
I guess.
I didn't.
So
Yeah,
so it was
but it
almost
was
like
like
Drake just being like, if you're gonna say so, why are you just saying sorry to him? You know, we're all up here. You know, like you should give
right.
me my credit too. Like I was better than you, also, kind of shit. And it
Oh
just
my
always feels
god.
sensitive, bitch stuff.
No, because everybody in the fucking rap game agrees that that record that Kendrick dropped that year, that is
Yeah,
one of the that is a masterpiece, dude.
yeah, dude. You want to know what's really funny too? After all this shit comes out and after all it really ramps up, so I never looked at the dates and stuff to see where it correlated with like what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
But Drake was the musical guest on Saturday Night Live
Okay.
uh back when like Pete Davidson
Yep.
was still on the show and stuff.
Yep.
They literally do a skit that's called Drake Beef, and Drake is like walking in and he says something to Pete, and Pete says something back to him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, they don't have that in Canada because Drake's Canadian."
Yep. Yep.
And he's like, "Hey man, I was just joking." And he's like, "No, no, I know." And then they show him just being like, "Yo, fuck you, Pete. I ain't like your shit." And he's just like, "I
Oh.
thought we were best friends." And that ends, and it's just like that over and over. Like somebody,
Oh.
comes in,
Yeah.
Leslie Jones
Yep.
was walking by, and she's like, hey, texting on the phone, and he's just like, "Oh, what up, Leslie?" And she's like, "Oh, what? Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I just gotta deal with this. Like, I'll see you later, man." Walk past and just like, and then he puts out another diss track real quick in the thing where he's just like,
But it was like
"Man,
really
fuck you, where
happening.
I'm." Well,
I mean,
now it's like really happening, but
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
funny to see like his little sensitive side to just be like, "Where I'm from, people say hi, fuck you, Leslie." So it's like now it's real life, and he's just a sensitive Sally, and he's getting pissed off at everybody, and it's just like,
Right. Right.
was he poking fun at this because of like the rumors of how he was beefing with people, and he's just like, "I'm not really beefing with nobody,"
Right.
but meanwhile he is constantly.
Yeah. And here it is, just fucking plain as day.
Yeah.
And
I
I know, like, so uh Future, like Future and Drake, I swear to God, they did like a whole album together, but I'm not a big Future fan because,
okay.
anyways, I know they've been on tracks together, but like he's been like, I think he is not with Drake anymore. I think he's just kind of like fucking
Oh,
made his distance now.
yeah.
And that is like I couldn't believe it. But the end of Not Like Us, I wrote it down. He does. There's more, but basically Kendrick just calls out all of Atlanta saying like, Drake, you have no street cred. I mean, that's what the whole song's about. You have no street cred. Stop it. You're soft.
Yeah.
You fuck with these real street ones when you go to Atlanta to make yourself look tough. And he just goes, so he called out like all of Atlanta. He's got like Future, Two Chains, Young Thug, Quavo. Like it was just, he had a whole list of, and he's just like, these guys know you're soft and that you hang out with them so that way you look tough. And I was like,
Right.
whoa, dude. Do you
Yeah.
think he talked to all of them before he did that? Like, I don't know, but like, it was just like, holy shit. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure
But
either.
that dude, that's what I've thought the whole time. It seems weird that like Drake seem like tries to act hard and stuff, and it's like, you're from Canada. You were a you were a teen actor, you know?
Right, right,
Like you didn't have the life that these other guys had.
right.
And like he brought Kendrick with him on tour. Like so they were cool like at the beginning. Like
Oh,
that's
yeah, yeah. Actually,
how Kendrick
Drake's
got.
on Good Kid, Mad City, I think. Which
Yeah,
is
he's
maybe that's
there.
what he was talking about with the tweet.
I mean, could be.
Maybe he was like,
They're
well,
on a
I was on
couple.
that record
Yeah,
as a
right. They're on a
feature.
couple of
Drake, you a
tracks
feature
together.
rapper.
So I
There,
don't know.
fine. I'll just fucking say it. Drake, you a feature rapper.
Right. Yeah. And he tried
I'm not taking
to
sides in
say,
this beef, but that's to me, that's just the way it is.
yeah, I'm taking sides. I don't. Drake seems
Yeah,
to
you're
be the
right.
clear loser.
Fuck that. Yeah. Kendrick is one of the greatest rappers of all time. He's fucking amazing. Like,
Yeah. And
hopefully
I
that doesn't
think
come
that
back around
Drake
to
is
bite us.
pretty good too, but it's like, why? I don't understand what this fucking beef is even about.
Right.
Really.
Right.
That's where
Yeah.
it's just kind of like a fuck you too type stuff. And I'm not 100% sure of what is even happening, but I
Yeah.
think it's weird where it's just like some shit where, weird shit where like he tried to say something about like Kendrick being on a Taylor Swift song. And it's like, well, first off, Taylor Swift is the biggest act in the world.
Right.
Second, Kendrick didn't go on there and try to sing or do anything else.
Right.
He
wrote a
did
fucking
a Kendrick
dope.
verse
Yeah.
on a Taylor Swift song.
Yeah.
And that Taylor Swift song had a sick beat.
They remade the beat for that remix.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that song, Bad Blood, is on her, I think it's 86 or 87 or whatever album that one is, the 1987 or
Yeah.
whatever. That song's on there. And that song comes on,
Yeah.
and you just go, yeah, wait, something's missing. And then you just listen through, and it's not what you hear
Yeah. No,
in the single. It's not the same one. It's not the one with Kendrick in it. So
okay.
someone took that beat and turned it up a notch, added a
they
lot
do
more
that
bass,
shit.
EQ'd it.
Yeah.
I don't know, something. Huge
They do
difference.
that a lot.
Yeah, they did
actually. And I just don't listen to the full albums of a lot of these people. I just hear what's on the radio.
Right.
But that beat is so sick. I would love to hear somebody else like go hard on it, because that,
Yeah.
when you hear that first, that do do do,
Uh-huh.
you're like, oh shit.
Yep.
Sometimes I forget it's a Taylor Swift song.
I
When it comes in,
know.
I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, I forgot what this is, but I like it.
But I'm into it. Uh-huh.
And then
I'm
she
with you.
comes in and she's like, you know, down there, and you're like, oh, that's right, it's Taylor.
Oh yeah.
And then the only part that I don't like is that it is a Taylor Swift song still, because you had that one part. It's like do 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 do, and all of a sudden it's just like, in the middle of the night, in my dreams, and you're like, oh shit, yeah, that's I forgot.
Right. Oh yeah, it is that. But I think it's funny that Drake tried to make fun of Kendrick for writing a song for the Swifties when Drake makes that kind of music. Like, Drake makes hits. There's no doubt about that. He's a fucking hit maker. Nobody can, you can't go at him for that one, because he does. But like, he's the Taylor Swift of rap music.
Dude, I couldn't. He had that one whole like dance album where he sings on the whole fucking thing.
That's right. That's right.
I did not like that album one bit. That sucked.
It was a hard listen.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was all a lot of the same shit, just a lot of weird noises and stuff. I was like, oh fuck. I don't know. I was never really a big fan of that 80s dance music anyways.
Right.
So like some of it is okay. There's some undeniable bangers. Everybody dance now. That shit is good. But like a lot of the other ones are just like, you're just trying to be that same thing, and it's like repetitive and but
too much.
Yeah, dude. It's just weird shit that I don't really completely understand, but I do like. I heard Snoop Dogg's take on it, where somebody said, what do you think? You grew up, or like you came up in the era of when like the beef rap was happening with the Tupac and the Biggie and
right.
What do you think about today's day and age beef rap? And he was just like, I don't have anything to say on what's going on. He says that those are my nephews and that beef is between them. It's not my place to say anything about it. And he
Class.
said, but I do have to say that I applaud them for elevating it. And he's like, because now on a lyrical level, you have people writing this stuff and it's bringing back rap. He's like,
Nice.
there's no mumble rap anymore.
Nice.
He's like,
Yeah.
you can't mumble your way through stuff like this.
Uh-huh.
So he's like, and then like looks at the camera. He's like, so I gotta say, nice work.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, which is perfect. Like, yeah, that's beef where you have to
Right.
let people know what the fuck you're saying. You can't just be like, fuck you, Kendrick.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that's not gonna work.
Right. Because that, yeah, no, you make a really good point. Because actually, maybe I need to listen to more Drake or something like that. But I was like, that's pretty good, actually.
Yeah,
That's pretty good. I didn't
I
think
don't
he.
know,
I mean, they both had
dude. But the
writers on
thing,
either side, but
yeah, that the part that bugs me is that like, there's been a lot of stuff about uh Drake having ghostwriters.
oh
So it's like, all right, so some of your stuff has sounded good. But then after you hear everybody talking about the ghostwriters and how he admits it and stuff too,
yep.
you're like, oh, well, that your style changes up so much. How much of this shit have you actually
Has
wrote?
he ever written?
Or
Yeah.
is it always just been you being an actor
Right.
since day one? You
Right. Oh, I
started being
forgot
an
because he
actor. Are
was.
you,
Yeah, you making a really good point.
yeah,
Oh
on
shit.
Degrassi or
Yeah.
whatever it
Yeah.
was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, how much
So
of
it's
is
like,
he just turned into acting like a rapper?
yeah.
Right.
And some of it is just like, some of his diss tracks are just fucking weak. Some of the lines he uses are just weak as shit, dude. I listen to some of them and I'm just like, ugh, that wasn't. That's
Right. Like, you should have
what
left
you're
that out
bringing
of
to
a
the
beef.
table.
Going off directly what Snoop said
Yeah,
is maybe you should have left that one out. Because yes, that's what beef rap is
yeah,
about. Beef rap is lyrical. Like it's shots. It's
yeah,
complicated. Not complicated. It's well a well weaved set of words. You know what I mean?
right.
You
Yeah,
can
and
come
it's a
out and be
good point.
correct, like just be blunt as fuck, but like all of it has to have this like, you know, diss behind it. It's just like, well, again,
Right.
well
I mean,
weaved.
it's like tying it in with how we opened up the first segment. It's like a roast that you rhyme,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
You're trying to make it funny or make it sting,
Right.
but you're also trying to make it rhyme.
Right.
And Drake had some line about like, I'm gonna be like a librarian and book it. And you're like, ugh, stupid. That was dumb.
Stupid.
Also, when they just repeat themselves over and over, that the 50 push-ups, I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about.
Oh yeah, so I saw that part.
Yeah,
So I guess the part is like the drop and give me 50
yeah.
is apparently one of the record companies that Kendrick is signed with. He's signed under some dude that takes 50%. Like that's the rumor.
Oh,
And so the drop and give me 50 is like him saying, you know, like I'm the drill sergeant. I'm the one in command here. So drop and give me 50 push-ups because I'm better than you. I'm, you know. So his
yeah,
like give me push-ups is like him saying I'm better than you, but then this specifically saying 50
right.
is like, because when I first heard it, I was like, is he making fun of 50 too? Because that's a dumb idea.
Yeah, that's not gonna go well.
And
Because
he's not. He's not.
50 will take it beyond rapping.
I still think
He'll
he has
do
it in him. Yeah.
he'll do like what you did with Ja Rule and just buy out like every ticket for your first like 10 rows and just make nobody show up at the front of the stage. That's still one of the most baller moves I've ever
Yeah,
heard in
dude,
my
it
life.
is.
You just go and waste a shit ton of money on buying. They're just like, how sick is ticket sales looking? Oh, the first 10 rows are fucking sold out already. Nice. Hell yeah. And then it turns out it's 50, bought all of them.
You should get out on stage and just nobody's sitting there.
Nobody's caught. There's nobody in the front rows of the show. Like, that's so fucking dope.
Oh fuck, dude, that's so funny.
Yeah. But that was the beef there, where like that makes 100% sense. That like one guy's making his name off of saying I'm a gangster, I'm tough. And then the other true gangsters like, I'm from these streets.
Yeah. It's almost
then
what's happening here with Kenny and
literally
Drake.
says the words that like I know dudes, well, I shouldn't say literally because I'm not saying the N-word, but he says, I know dudes from your hood, you have no history, never poked nothing, never popped nothing.
Yep.
Fella, stop fronting. You know?
Right.
It's just like, that's what the beef is, where like, that makes 100% sense that this guy has had to live a rough life, had to go through it.
Right.
And now you're trying to get rich off pretending to be what he actually is.
Yeah. That's literally what Not Like Us is about. Well, I mean, not entirely. He really leaned into the pedophile part, and I didn't understand that entirely.
Dude, that's the other part where people have said that it seems like he kind of has something on him, because Drake constantly keeps dropping like a diss album, saying something, or not a diss album, but dropping a diss track, saying something subliminally, and then essentially kind of like waving the white flag, like, oh, we're good now, right? And then Kendrick doesn't say shit back, and then he'll just be like, you know what? I didn't want to be friends again anyways. Here's another track. Nah. And then he just like, but we're good, right? I'm sorry. I got out of hand. Please don't tell people about what I did. Oh, you're not going to accept my apology? Fuck you. I'm going back in. It's just, it just seems like real bitch stuff on his side is from the outside looking in and hearing everything and doing the research and listening to what people have to say and going back as far as I can in this shit.
We're following it's like a drama TV show that unfolds over months.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And really starts to pick up, because now,
like I said, I think we're in hot beef summer, dude. This is like, I think it's coming.
We've went away from subliminal kind of back and forths to just straight up fuck you too.
Yep. Right.
Like, it's on.
Yep.
They're just saying fucking each other. Hey, the only thing I gotta say is like, so first, did you know this is, I was gonna say something else. I'll get to that in a second. Okay. But did you know Pusha T? Drake tried to diss Pusha T.
What?
And Pusha T dropped a diss track back, and like on the single of the thing, like put Drake's picture in blackface. I don't know if Drake actually had a picture of himself in blackface, but there's a picture out there where it's just like the shoe polish black.
Oh no, of Drake.
Yeah,
because of what Pusha T did.
Pusha T put that single out with his face on the single of the blackface, and I don't know if that's like
a real
Drake has that actual blackface picture, and he was able to find it, and I don't know. I guess kind of destroyed him real quick, and then that was like the end of that beef. Like, he was just like, fuck you, here's your like blackface to the world.
Oh, shit.
and then that was the end of that beef, so whatever. But like, it made me think of that blackface thing when I was gonna say that, like, I know that Drake is half white, but I don't know why Rick Ross in his thing has to just be like, white boy.
Oh yeah,
fucking white boy.
He went
boy.
so hard on it. I was like, holy shit, dude.
Just like, man, that's kind of rough. Like, because I get what he's trying to do, and he's trying to say, like, you're not me or you're not us, I guess.
Yeah.
But like that one seems I don't particularly care for when they do that shit. Because like I'm not offended by it.
No,
I'm not butthurt by it. I'm not gonna just be like, cancel him. I don't really give a shit. But when you flip the script, I'm just like, this seems a little bit fucked up, isn't it? Like if the shoe was on the other foot and I get in a rap battle with a guy that's half black.
Yeah.
And I get on the track and I'm just like, black boy, you fucking black boy.
Right. Everyone would be like, whoa.
They'd be like, holy shit, dude, what? No, you can't do that. That's I'd be like, no, I totally agree. I shouldn't have done it. That's fucked up.
Right.
But I just thought that was crazy where I'm trying to like, damn, dude, Ross is fucking killing him here. And then also he's like, white boy. And I'm like, hey, come on, right? Those white guys are okay.
Yeah, I gotcha. I read into it. I read into the metaphor of what he was doing. So I think too is like
no, I get it. I just think it's like
I didn't even know Drake was half white. I just thought that he
said it like I just like if you just drop the line one time real quick, but he's like ad-libbing in the background.
Oh yeah,
just kind of just keep it white boy.
Yeah, it's the whole end of the song. Well, I mean, he lets the beat ride out too, but
yeah. Does he have his own like champagne or something? What the fuck was that bottle? You seen that video?
Yeah. He does have his own champagne.
What is that? That's a cool looking bottle.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's
black crystal-y looking shit. I gotta look into that.
Yeah, thing. I know. I'm pretty sure that's Rick's.
For a minute, I was like, I do like to get booze and bring it onto the podcast, and then before I even looked into it, I was just like, that's gonna be way too much money. I'm sure.
Right? Yeah. If Rick Ross has got it in the bag of his, I'm pretty sure that's gonna be way too much to.
Yeah, he's like Rolls Royce, like drinking champagne, like shit on this dude.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's not just gonna be like $30 bottle.
right. Yeah, for sure. To the cover thing, quick. Kendrick's the cover of "Not Like Us."
Yeah,
that's Drake's new mansion. Like that's the Google Street View of Drake's mansion.
What does Kendrick live in?
Well, I mean, that motherfucker's got to have a huge house too.
That's what I was gonna say. He's gotta have a nice house.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't know. It's just fucking funny because of the Pusha T thing, and so I didn't even know how that Pusha T got brought into it. God damn, dude. Yep.
Yeah, I think that was quite a bit before the rest of this.
Like shit. Before it really started popping off here with.
Yeah, I think like he went at Pusha T earlier, and then Pusha T was like, "Whoa, fuck off, bam!" and just shut it down right away. And then that was the end of that beef, where he didn't even try. He's just like, "Oh fuck, no, I shouldn't have said nothing. My bad. I'm white."
All right, dude. Okay, let's wrap it up. Like, subscribe, go over to Spotify. You can leave a comment on Spotify now. And of course, comments on this, like comment on the beef and comment on the live bait thing. And if you're hearing the first part, if you heard the first part, if you're in there for the long haul, if you didn't know, we actually are a fishing podcast, and then we just talk about some stuff. And we like rap music. We came up in some of the best beef rap out there. So I was like, I know that we're gonna talk about this. I know Tim's following.
You want to hear a little bit about a different form of hot beef summer? Go to the first half and listen to what happens when you leave night crawlers out in the sun.
Yeah, dude. It's gross. This one, musically, should pan out pretty cool.